Have you ever stood in your kitchen, looking at your morning coffee, wondering why your stomach still feels stuck? You've had the water, you've done your walk, but it's already day 3 and nothing's moving. And you start to ask yourself the question that no one wants to say out loud. Is something wrong with me? Let's talk honestly, because after 60, constipation becomes one of the most common and frustrating struggles we face. And yet, almost no one wants to admit it. It's uncomfortable, it's embarrassing, and it's easy to ignore until you can't. Linda is 74. She's independent, smart, and has been living alone since her husband passed 6 years ago. She walks every morning, drinks her herbal tea, and always tries to eat clean. But lately, she's been avoiding going out. Her stomach feels tight. Her clothes fit differently. She's been canceling lunch dates with vague excuses. And the truth? She hasn't had a real bowel movement in almost 5 days. She's tried the over-the-counter stuff. It works for a while, but then it stops. And she doesn't want to become dependent on pills. She just wants her body to work like it used to. Sound familiar? You're not alone. In fact, nearly 40% of adults over 65 experience constipation regularly. And it's not just uncomfortable. It can lead to bloating, loss of appetite, nausea, poor sleep, and in more serious cases, impacted bowels or even emergency hospital visits. But here's what most people don't realize. In many cases, constipation doesn't come from illness. It comes from what's missing on your plate. After 60, digestion slows. The gut lining changes. Muscle tone in the colon weakens. Hydration habits shift. And most importantly, fiber intake often drops without anyone noticing. We think we're eating enough. But the truth is, many seniors get less than half the daily fiber their bodies need. The result? A digestive system that's waiting for a signal that never comes. But there's good news. Food can fix this. And not with harsh cleanses or powders. Not with diets that feel like punishment. But with 5 real, natural, delicious foods that can gently stimulate the gut, support digestion, and help your body find its rhythm again. In the next parts, we'll walk through each of these 5 foods. We'll talk about why they work, how to use them, what to pair them with, and the small changes that can bring big relief. So if you've been feeling sluggish, stuck, or secretly worried that your digestion just isn't the same anymore, stay with us, because your body doesn't need to suffer in silence. It just needs the right tools. Let's start with the food that's been helping digestion for thousands of years, but is still surprisingly underused today: prunes. When Linda finally opened up to her friend Ruth about her digestive troubles, Ruth didn't laugh. She didn't flinch. She simply said, "Have you tried prunes?" Linda blinked. Prunes? Like the ones from the 1970s commercials? Ruth nodded. They're not glamorous, but they work. And she was right. Prunes, dried plums, have been used for generations as a natural remedy for sluggish digestion. And while they might not be the trendiest item on the grocery shelf, they're one of the most effective and gentle foods for promoting regular bowel movements. So why do they work so well? Let's break it down. First, fiber. Just 5 prunes contain around 3 grams of fiber, most of it insoluble fiber, the kind that adds bulk to stool and helps it move through the colon efficiently. And since most adults over 60 get less than 15 grams of fiber per day, when we need closer to 25 to 30, this is a powerful boost. Second, sorbitol. Prunes contain a natural sugar alcohol called sorbitol, which draws water into the intestines and acts as a mild laxative. Unlike harsh medications, sorbitol works gently, helping soften stool and stimulate movement without cramping or urgency. Third, antioxidants and polyphenol. Prunes aren't just gut movers, they're anti-inflammatory too. The antioxidants in prunes support overall colon health and may reduce oxidative stress in aging tissues. Linda started with just 3 prunes a day, chopped up and added to her morning oatmeal. After 3 days, she felt the difference: less pressure, less bloating, and finally, relief. She didn't have to rely on laxatives. She didn't have to change her whole life. She just had to add the right food in the right moment. How to use prunes if you're just getting started. Add 3 to 5 prunes to your breakfast. Mix into oatmeal, yogurt, or smoothie bowls. Soak them in warm water for 10 to 15 minutes for a softer texture. Pair with a glass of warm water or herbal tea to boost hydration. For variety, blend prunes into a date-like paste and spread on whole grain toast. And don't worry, if the taste or texture isn't your favorite, prune juice, unsweetened, can also help. Just half a cup in the morning can gently kickstart digestion. One important note, start slow. Prunes are powerful. For some, even 2 is enough. And drink plenty of water. Fiber without hydration can backfire. Linda now keeps a small glass jar of prunes on her kitchen counter. Not as a medicine, but as a morning companion. A quiet, steady ally in her daily routine. And now that her system is moving, she's back to going out. Having lunch with friends. Feeling light again, in more ways than one. So what's the next food that can help? It's one you may already have in your fridge, but probably aren't using to its full digestive potential. Let's talk about chia seeds. Frank never thought he'd be the kind of man to eat superfoods. At 78, he liked his meals simple, toast and jam, a bowl of cereal, maybe a banana if it was sitting on a counter. But when his daughter visited and saw a half-used bottle of laxatives by the sink, she raised an eyebrow. "Dad," she said, "you need more fiber. Try chia seeds." He laughed. "Would I look like a yoga instructor?" But she left a small jar anyway. And out of curiosity, or maybe stubbornness, he gave him a try. And within a week, he felt something shift. So what's the story behind these tiny seeds? Chia seeds are a digestive powerhouse, especially after 60. Just 2 tablespoons contain around 10 grams of fiber, nearly half the daily recommendation. And here's what makes them unique. They're incredibly rich in soluble fiber, the kind that forms a gel-like texture when mixed with liquid. This gel slows digestion just enough to give your body time to absorb nutrients, but also adds bulk and softness to stool, making it easier to pass. And unlike bran or rough fiber, chia doesn't irritate the colon. It soothes it, but that's not all. Chia seeds also deliver omega-3 fatty acids, which reduce inflammation, calcium and magnesium, which support muscle contractions, including in the intestines, and they help regulate blood sugar, which can also affect digestion over time. Frank started with just a teaspoon stirred into his morning oatmeal. Then he tried chia pudding, made with almond milk and cinnamon. Eventually, he was sprinkling them over soups, salads, and even peanut butter toast. His digestion? Regular, gentle, predictable. He even called his daughter and said, all right, you were right about the seeds." How to use chia seeds in daily life. Stir 1 to 2 teaspoons into oatmeal or yogurt. Make chia pudding. Mix 3 tablespoons of chia seeds with 1 cup of almond or oat milk. Refrigerate overnight and top with fruit. Blend into smoothies. Just a spoonful adds fiber without changing flavor. Sprinkle on salads, soups, or toast. Pro tip: always soak chia seeds before eating a large amount. Dry chia can absorb water inside your gut, which isn't ideal. Let them expand in liquid first to get the full benefit. And of course, drink water. Plenty of it. Chia plus hydration equals movement. For Frank, adding chia wasn't about going trendy. It was about getting his mornings back. No more waiting, pacing the house, or canceling his walks. His body was working with him again. So we've talked about prunes and chia seeds. Now let's turn to something warm, soft, and comforting, yet surprisingly powerful. Let's talk about oatmeal. Every morning, Margaret starts her day the same way. She stands by the stove in her soft slippers, waiting for the pot to bubble gently. The smell is familiar, comforting. A little cinnamon, maybe a few apple slices. And in just 10 minutes, it's ready, her bowl of oatmeal. For years, it was just a breakfast she liked. But now, in her late 70s, it's something more, her quiet, reliable medicine. Because oatmeal, simple as it seems, is one of the most effective foods for digestion and constipation relief, especially in older adults. So what makes it so powerful? One word: beta-glucan. Oats are rich in soluble fiber, particularly a form called beta-glucan, which forms a thick gel-like substance in the intestines. This gel softens stool, adds bulk, traps water in the gut to keep things moving, and feeds the good bacteria in your colon. The result? Gentle, natural stimulation of bowel movements, without urgency or discomfort. But there's more. Oats also help regulate blood sugar, keeping energy stable throughout the day, lower cholesterol, protecting the heart as digestion improves, and reduce inflammation in the gut lining, which becomes more sensitive with age. Margaret didn't always eat oatmeal. For years, she was more of a toast and tea person. But when her digestion slowed in her late 60s, her doctor suggested trying it for a week. It didn't take long. By day 4, her mornings felt lighter, her belly felt flatter, and the worry that followed her into the bathroom each morning, it started to fade. How to prepare oatmeal for digestive health. Choose steel-cut or old-fashioned rolled oats, not instant packets loaded with sugar. Cook with water or unsweetened almond milk. Add flax seeds, chia, or ground psyllium husk for extra fiber. Mix in fruit like apple slices, raisins, prunes, or blueberries. Avoid heavy cream, butter, or syrups. These can slow digestion down. Want extra help? Sprinkle in a teaspoon of cinnamon, anti-inflammatory, or a dash of ginger, soothes the gut. Add a spoonful of almond butter for gentle fat that helps lubricate the intestines. And remember, hydration matters. Margaret always drinks a full glass of warm water before eating her oats. It gets everything moving, she says. It's not about turning oatmeal into some kind of miracle cure. It's about returning to foods that work with the body's natural design, especially when that body is older, wiser, and more sensitive. So far, we talked about prunes, sweet, powerful, classic. Chia seeds, tiny but mighty. Oats, comforting and consistent. Now, let's shift to something you probably already have on your kitchen counter, but maybe never realized could literally transform your gut. Let's talk about kiwi fruit. James had always thought of kiwi as a fancy fruit. You know, something restaurants sliced on top of a dessert or a tropical salad. He never bought them, never even peeled one. But one afternoon at a senior center, a nutritionist gave a talk called The Fruit That Moves You and held up a kiwi. James chuckled. That little green thing? Really? But then she explained the science. And James decided to try it. 1 kiwi a day, she said. Just one. Within 5 days, James, who'd been quietly struggling with irregularity for months, was regular again. So what makes kiwi such a powerful food against constipation? Surprisingly, it's not just the fiber, although that helps. A single medium kiwi contains around 2 to 3 grams of fiber, with both soluble and insoluble forms. But what makes kiwi different is its unique enzyme called actinidin. Actinidin is a natural compound that helps break down protein in the stomach, improving digestion and speeding up the movement of food through the intestines. It's gentle, it's natural, and it works beautifully in aging digestive systems that may produce fewer digestive enzymes over time. But that's not all. Kiwi also increases stool frequency, improves stool consistency, softer but formed, reduces bloating, and helps relieve abdominal discomfort without gas or urgency, all without any harsh effects. In fact, multiple clinical studies, including one from the University of Otago in New Zealand, have shown that eating just 2 kiwis per day improves bowel regularity better than psyllium husk or prune juice, with fewer side effects. James now eats 2 kiwis every morning, right after his water and before his oatmeal. He slices them in half and eats them with a spoon, skin and all. It's safe, and the skin actually adds extra fiber. How to enjoy kiwi daily. Eat 1 or 2 whole kiwis with breakfast or as a snack. Blend into a smoothie with spinach, banana, and almond milk. Chop into oatmeal or Greek yogurt. Or simply cut in half and scoop with a spoon. No fuss. A note on ripeness. Soft kiwis are easier to digest. If your kiwis are hard, leave them on the counter for a couple of days to ripen fully. And unlike some high-fiber foods, kiwi won't cause gas, bloating, or cramping. That's what makes it such a senior-friendly option. James now tells everyone at his senior center, forget the pills. Get a kiwi. It's his daily green secret. And it works. So we've covered 4 powerful foods already. But there's one more to go, one that may not sit in your fruit bowl, but might already be on your plate without you realizing how much it helps. Let's talk about beans. Carol was always nervous about beans. She'd heard the jokes. She didn't want to deal with the after effects. So she avoided them, thinking they were more trouble than they were worth. But when her doctor gently asked about her digestion and recommended increasing her soluble fiber, she knew she had to reconsider. And when she did, she was shocked by how fast her body responded. Beans are one of the most powerful foods you can eat to support regular digestion, especially after 60. They're rich in both soluble and insoluble fiber, giving your body a perfect blend of gut movement and stool softening. Just half a cup of cooked beans contains between 6 and 9 grams of fiber, depending on the type. That means adding beans just 3 or 4 times a week can get you more than halfway to your daily fiber goal. But fiber isn't the only reason beans help. They also stabilize blood sugar, which supports long-term gut health, contain prebiotics, which feed good gut bacteria, help reduce cholesterol, especially when replacing meat or cheese, and are naturally hydrating thanks to their water content when cooked. Carol started small, just a quarter cup of black beans stirred in her vegetable soup. Then she tried a chickpea salad. Before long, she was adding white beans to her pasta and hummus to her toast. She was surprised to find not only regular, easy digestion, but also fewer cravings, better energy, and a lighter feeling after meals. And the after effects she worried about? Gone. Once she increased slowly and added plenty of water. How to ease into beans if you're not used to them. Start with soft-cooked lentils, which are gentle on the stomach. Rinse canned beans thoroughly to reduce gas-causing compounds. Try pureed options like hummus or white bean spreads. Always pair with water or broth-based meals to ease digestion. Gradually increase portion size over a couple of weeks. Beans are affordable, versatile, and incredibly nourishing. And for many older adults, they're the key to restoring natural digestive rhythm without medication. So now let's bring it all together. You've just discovered 5 real foods that can gently, naturally, and effectively relieve constipation in older adults. 1. Prunes, sweet, classic, and packed with sorbitol and fiber. 2. Chia seeds, small but mighty, with soluble fiber and omega-3s. 3. Oatmeal, soft, warming, and rich in beta-glucan for gut health. 4. Kiwi, enzyme-rich and gentle, promoting regularity without bloating. 5. Beans, fiber giants that nourish your microbiome and keep things moving. None of these require drastic diets. None of them are fads. They are simple, affordable, accessible, and they work. But the most important ingredient? Consistency. You don't have to eat all 5 every day. You don't have to change everything overnight. But if you start by adding just 1 every single day, your body will notice. Your gut will thank you. And those quiet mornings waiting for movement, they'll turn into mornings where you feel light, ready, and free again. Because healthy digestion isn't just about your bowels. It's about how you feel in your body, how you move through the world, and how much energy you have to enjoy what matters. So here's your invitation. Choose 1 food from today's list. Add it to your day this week. Drink more water. Move your body, even just a little. And pay attention to how your gut responds. Because after 60, your digestion becomes a reflection of how well you care for yourself. And the good news? It's never too late to begin. If this video helped you, share your thoughts in the comments. Which of these foods do you already eat? What's worked for you? Your story might be the encouragement someone else needs. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and watch more of our practical, honest advice for living fully and aging with strength, clarity, and dignity. Thanks for watching. Stay well, stay regular, and we'll see you in the next one.